Hello friends, this is Baswaraj Benumble coming out with my next video, that is a scheme for identification of unknown carbohydrate sample analysis, which is helpful for both the D-Pharm students and as well as B-Pharm students. In this, I'll make you simplify the scheme for analysis, how to confirm the unknown sample of carbohydrate. So this is the scheme for unknown carbohydrate sample. That is, when you are given a sample of for analysis, it is unknown carbohydrate. We don't know which carbohydrate, whether it may be a monosaccharide, maybe a disaccharide, or which may be a polysaccharide. So to confirm that, you are doing all these tests. How to follow this chart, I will explain you, simplify you. The first, when you get the sample, the first test which you will be carrying out for any carbohydrate, unknown carbohydrate sample is Molex test. Molex test, in that Molex test, you are taking a sample and to that you are adding Molex reagent to 2 to 3 drops, and to that equal quantity of acid is added slowly through the sides of the test tube. So you have to add the acid slowly and equal quantity of the sample. Sugar sample or unknown carbohydrate sample, equal quantity you have to add. So that slowly you have to add, so that you will get the ring at the junction. If it is a carbohydrate, you will get a ring at the junction of 2 layers. And you should not shake the test tube. If you shake the test tube, ring will settle to the bottom. That's how the test has to be carried out. So Molex test, if there is no color, no reddish violet color ring at the junction of 2 layers, then that is your observation. In that case, inference will be the given carbohydrate will be absent. So inference you will be writing as carbohydrate absent. So you need not to do any of these tests, because your given sample itself is not a carbohydrate. So you are doing Molex test for the given sample, observation writing no reddish violet color ring at the junction of 2 layers, and inference no carbohydrate absent. And you have to write directly, you have to write the report, the given sample is not a carbohydrate. For that also you will get full marks, because the examiner may give you water sample also to check you. So that is also you will get full marks. So if that is the case, then you need not to do, you need not to follow this side of the chart. If Molex test is positive, then you will get a reddish violet color ring at the junction of 2 layers. When you do this test, Molex test, if you get a reddish violet color ring at the junction of 2 layers, then you are writing the inference as carbohydrate. Means your sample is a carbohydrate. Which carbohydrate you have to do? Analyze further by doing all these other tests. So after this, the second test which you will be carrying out will be iodine test. Iodine test may be positive or negative. Depending on that, it will be a different carbohydrate sample. So if iodine test is positive, then there will be a color change. If iodine, when you take iodine test, take a carbohydrate sample or unknown sugar sample, to that you add 2 to 3 drops, only 2 to 3 drops of iodine should be added, not more than that. If you add more iodine, then the sample will take iodine color and will get confused with the color formation, color change. You may say that when there is no color change, you will say there is a color change. So that will lead to confusion. So you add 2 to 3 drops, 2 to 3 ml of a sample, to that 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution, and see that if there is color change, that color change will take place only in case of polysaccharides, not in case of mono or disaccharides. If it is your sample is polysaccharide, then only in iodine test there will be a color change. Otherwise, there will be no color change. So in case of iodine test, there is a color change that indicates that your sample is polysaccharide. 100% it will be a polysaccharide. It may be depending upon the color change. If it is the color change in iodine test is, when you do iodine test is blue color, it is formed, then starch present and confirmed. That's all. And in iodine test, if you get red color, then it will, your sample will be glycogen. And if you are getting brown color in iodine test, when you do the iodine test, then your sample will be dextrin. So if your unknown sample is a polysaccharide, then you will be carrying out Molex test, and second test will be Molex test is positive. So carbohydrate present. Second test is iodine test. Then color change may be blue, red, or brown. If it is blue, usually starch is given as a polysaccharide in the experiment, in the exams. So if it is blue color, starch, in inference you have to write starch present and confirm. Report the given sample is starch present and confirm. That's all. That's over. Your experiment is over for confirmation of polysaccharide. If in iodine test there is no color change, no color change means it will be yellow color. Iodine 2 to 3 drops if you are adding, that is yellow color. Yellow color is not a color change. So that will be, your sample will be mono or disaccharide. Mono or disaccharide may be present. So mono or disaccharide may be present means for that next test, third test you will be carrying out for any monosaccharide or disaccharide will be, we are going for third test, that is Benedict's test or Felling's test. Any one you can do, not both, not necessary. Both are tests done for checking whether the sample is reducing sugar or not. Okay, when you're doing unknown analysis, do either Felling's test or Benedict's test. Then Benedict's test again, it may be positive or negative. If it is negative, means no red or orange or green color precipitate. You may get red color, orange color, green color precipitate, or even yellow color precipitate. That depend, color changes due to the concentration of glucose sample given in the unknown sample. The concentration of sample, the precipitate color changes. If you get red also, it is Benedict's test, red precipitate, orange, green, yellow. But in case of negative, there will be no precipitate, no color, no red color precipitate, no orange or no green or no yellow precipitate. If that is the case, then it indicates that that given sample is sucrose only. It is confirmed because it is a non-reducing sugar. Only one non-reducing sugar, that is sucrose, is the non-reducing sugar. So in this step only we'll come to know that your sample is sucrose. So Benedict test, when you do no red precipitate or orange precipitate or green precipitate, you will write inference sucrose may be present. Further, there itself you will come to know that your sample is sucrose. But further, to make it more confirm it, you are doing hydrolysis of the given sample. You take the sample, given sample, unknown sample of carbohydrate, you do the hydrolysis test, wherein on hydrolysis what happens, sucrose is made up of glucose and fructose. When you do hydrolysis test for the given sample, the glucose and fructose molecule will separate. It will individually separate. Cleavage will take place. So after that hydrolysis test, to that sample which you are hydrolyzed, not the earlier sample, hydrolysis sample, from that you are taking 2 ml. To that you are doing again Benedict's test you will be doing. Again you do the Benedict's. Earlier when you did Benedict's test, no red precipitate was there. When you, after hydrolysis, when you do the red Benedict's test, you will get red or orange or precipitate. Either of the color precipitate you will get. Either it may be red, orange or yellow or green precipitate is found. Because the glucose and fructose have been separated, so it will reduce, and that inference you will be writing it as sucrose present and confirmed. That's how you will write the report. So that is, for sucrose, you will be doing Molex test, iodine test, then Benedict's test. 3 tests you will be doing. For polysaccharides, Molex test and iodine test, 2 tests. For reducing monosaccharides or disaccharides, again you will follow, you have to go for the 4th test. That is, in case of Benedict's test, if you are getting positive, that is, you are getting red or orange or yellow or green color precipitate, that indicates that your sample is reducing mono or disaccharide. Reducing mono or disaccharide. Okay, so then you are going further, you want to confirm it, whether it is a monosaccharide or disaccharide. So for that you will be doing this Barfoed's test. Barfoed test is done to identify whether it is a monosaccharide or a disaccharide. In case of Barfoed test, if it is positive, if you get brick red color precipitate at the bottom of the test tube, in this case you take a sample to that equal quantity of Barfoed reagent, you add, heat it strongly and then cool it, then you will see that brick red color precipitate is seen at the bottom of the test tube in case of your sample is monosaccharide. If your sample is monosaccharide like glucose or fructose is there, then you will get this brick red color. So if it is your sample is disaccharide, then no brick red color is formed. that is Barfoot color, reagent color will be there, blue color. No precipitate is formed at the bottom of the test tube. So if that is the case, then your sample is disaccharide, or disaccharide like lactose or maltose may be present. So Barfoot test, if it is positive, observation will be brick red color, inference will be monosaccharides like glucose and fructose may be present. If it is negative, no brick red color precipitate at the bottom of the test tube, inference will be disaccharides like lactose and maltose may be present. So if it is positive, then which monosaccharide it is, whether it is glucose or fructose, you need to confirm it. For that, you are doing this Selivanov's test. Selivanov's test is done to identify, that is the confirmative test for aldose and ketose sugar. Selivanov's test will be positive for ketose sugars, in which sugar there is a ketose functional group, that will be positive. So for that different confirmation, you are doing this Selivanov test. Take a unknown sample, to that you add Selivanov reagent, heat it very strongly you have to heat it. If there is a cherry red color formation, then it indicates that fructose is present. And if it is no cherry red color, then your sample will be glucose will be present. So Selivanov's test, cherry red color, inference will be fructose present and confirmed, because this is the confirmative test. Even after that also you can do Osazone, but Osazone will not differentiate between fructose and glucose, because if you do Osazone for these two, fructose and glucose, you will get needle shaped crystals in both the cases. So you cannot differentiate whether the crystals are of fructose or glucose, but you can do it and say that because here itself you have confirmed that whether it is a sample is fructose or glucose. In case of glucose, Selivanov test, no cherry red color, glucose present. Then in case of Barfoot test, negative, no brick red color at the bottom of the test tube, disaccharide may be present. Which disaccharide? Again, we want to confirm. That is lactose or maltose. So for that, you are doing Osazone test. You take the sample, to that you add phenylhydrazine, sodium acetate, and heat it on a water bath for 20 minutes. You will get, after cooling, you will get the crystals. That crystals will be sunflower shaped or prickle ball shaped crystals. If the crystals are being sunflower shaped crystals, then the sample is maltose, and if prickle ball shaped crystals are there, then the sample will be lactose. That's how confirmation. This crystal should be observed in microscope for the shape. So Osazone, if you get sunflower, your sample is maltose present and confirmed. If it is prickle ball shape, rubber ball to which you attach needles, prickle, so that if that is the case, then it is a lactose. That's how you have to follow the scheme for identification of unknown carbohydrate sample to analyze, to identify the different carbohydrates, mono, di, or non-reducing sugar or polysaccharide. Okay. So if just I'm briefing it. So if your unknown sample is glucose, so these will be the test you will be doing. These will be the test. Molex test and observation will be like this. Should be your observation when you write your sample is glucose. So you have to check. So inference will be like this. So Molex test, reddish oral carbohydrate present, iodine test, no color change, mono or disaccharide, Benedict's test, red or orange or green. When you do this test, I have seen many students writing red or yellow, orange or green or yellow color precipitate. Don't write like that. Write which precipitate you are observing. You may get red, then you write red precipitate. Don't write red or yellow or orange. Not all the precipitate will be seen at a time. So you write red. If you are getting red precipitate, you write red precipitate. If you are getting orange precipitate, you write orange. Green precipitate. That's all. So that will mean. And Barfoot test, brick red precipitate at the bottom, monosaccharide. So it will be glucose or fructose. Selivanov test, no cherry red color, as I told you in the chart, glucose present. For confirmation, you are doing Osazone. This is not a confirmative, but here itself you have confirmed it. So this is how the tabular column and your report should be there. In case of glucose is if your unknown sample. In case of fructose, also the test remains same for glucose and fructose. Only change is that is in glucose there was no cherry red color. Here in Seliunov's test, cherry red color is there. So it will be fructose. So in case of ozone, needle shaped crystals, in that case also needle shaped, but writing it as fructose present and confirmed in this case. So that is the second sample, monosaccharide, which you can add. So that's how this should be the tabular column and report you will be writing. So this way it should be there. If your unknown sample is fructose. In case of sucrose, only three tests you are doing: Molex test, red is carbohydrate present, iodine test, no color change, monodisaccharide present, Benedict's test, no red or orange or green or yellow color precipitate. No precipitate is there. No colored precipitate is seen because your sugar sample is non-reducing sugar. Inference you are writing is a non-reducing sugar present. So for that sample, you take the sample, do hydrolysis test, hydrolyze the sample, given sample, and that hydrolyzed sample you are taking from that, you are taking 2 ml and doing Benedict's test. When you do Benedict's test, you will get red or orange or green color precipitate, yellow color precipitate, which was not seen earlier. Earlier, because there was a linkage between sucrose is made up of glucose and fructose, and the linkage is between the ketone group of fructose and aldehyde group of glucose. That's why it is a non-reducing. On hydrolysis, what happens? That linkage breaks. So glucose and fructose molecules separate. So when you do the analysis after hydrolysis, you will get the precipitate which you are not seeing earlier. So here you will see the red precipitate or green or yellow or orange. So that is sucrose present and confirmed. That's how. This should be the tabular column and report for the unknown sample of sucrose. In case of lactose, we will be doing Molex test, which you will do, you have done for all other monosaccharides, also iodine test, Benedict's test. Benedict's test, there will be red or on this also because it's a reducing disaccharide. So Barford's test will no brick red precipitate. In case of monosaccharides, brick red precipitate is seen at the bottom. But in case of disaccharides, there will be no brick red precipitate at the bottom of the test tube. So that indicates that inference, that is your sample is disaccharide, whether it may be lactose or maltose. To confirm it is lactose or maltose, you are doing Osazone test. So in which if you are getting brickle ball shaped crystals, then your sample will be lactose present and confirmed. That's how we'll be analyzing, and your report should be not written here. You can write report as the given sample is lactose present and confirmed. That's how your tabular column and report should be there when you do the analysis, in case of when you do the practical in the exams. So in case of maltose, all the tests will be same as in case of lactose up to Barford. These all things will be same in case of lactose and maltose. Only change will be there in Osazone test, where I will see sunflower shaped crystals. You will see sunflower shaped crystals. In inference, there will be maltose present and confirmed. That's how we'll be writing. So sunflower shaped crystals are observed. In case of that is the only thing. All other things will remain same. Osazone test, when you do sunflower shaped crystals, maltose present, and this is how it appears. So this is how you can confirm the unknown carbohydrate sample very easily. So I think I have made it very simple. Please subscribe to my channel and do comment on my videos so that I can improve myself. If anything is, if you are not convinced, I can improve myself. Please forward my videos to your friends. Thank you. Thank you for watching my video.